Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk Today, where we dive deep into the nitty-gritty of e-invoicing and technological transformations in finance and taxation. Today, we're tackling an intriguing subject that's critical for businesses operating in and with the UAE, particularly the frequency and guidelines for submitting the Technical Data Document, or TDD, to Corner 5. So, let's start with the basics. When we talk about how often the TDD should be submitted, the expectation is that it should be reported in near real time, leveraging the impressive technology we have at our fingertips today. Think of it as a digital handshake that should ideally happen almost instantly, or as close to that as technologically possible. Certainly, if you've got the capacity for it, near real-time submissions will keep you ahead of the game and in sync with compliance requirements. Now, let's not forget that while real-time reporting is the gold star here, batch submissions are also permitted. So, if you're a business that operates on a larger scale and the thought of submitting every single TDD in real time feels overwhelming, don't stress. Batch submissions can be your best friend. Just ensure that they align with the guidelines laid out in the forthcoming service level agreement document, which will give you all the nuances you need for compliance. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. If you find yourself dealing with Corner 2 and Corner 3, and they're identical in nature, yes, you heard that right, the TDD must still be submitted separately for both. I know it sounds a bit excessive, but rules are rules, my friends. They each have their own pathways in the system, and it's essential to stick to the protocols put in place for clarity and accountability. And speaking of protocols, a nod to our listeners tuning in from jurisdictions like Malaysia. They had to navigate a centralized system due to the absence of credit notes or cancellations within their PINT format. That's a distinct challenge. Now, for our audience wondering about PINT AE, rest assured it has you covered. There will be no need for a centralized system because all credit notes and invoices must flow through either Corner 2 or Corner 3. Remember, we're all about the 5-corner model here, folks. Simplicity is key. So, what if things go awry for a taxpayer, like an internet hiccup leading to a delay in issuing invoices? Fear not, the accredited service provider is equipped to handle that. Once they receive the invoice from the taxpayer, it needs to be forwarded to Corner 3, along with the TDD reported to Corner 5. Any glitches between the taxpayer and their service provider, those will be resolved between them. Plus, if any of the corners experience downtime, access points have got your back. They're designed to store the information and send it off once they regain connectivity. And don't even get me started on the protocols involved. Corner 2 and Corner 3 rely on the AS4 protocol, which is in line with PEPL standards. For those of you still getting familiar with this tech jargon, hang tight. We'll unveil more as we roll out our architecture documentation and the PASR, which promise to bring clarity. So folks, buckle in because this deep dive into the realm of e-invoicing and compliance is just beginning. Stay tuned for more insights on other topics concerning the 5-corner model, technical requirements, and industry standards. Until next time, keep those invoices flowing and let technology do the heavy lifting. Welcome back to the podcast, folks. If you're just tuning in, be sure to check out Part 1, where we dived into some crucial details about the technical data document, the role of Corner 5, and the intricacies of the e-invoicing network. Now let's continue unpacking some of the frequently asked questions and clarifications surrounding the TDD submission process. So, we've established that the TDD needs to be submitted to Corner 5 in near real time, which is a fancy way of saying, let's keep it snappy. Thanks to current technology, we can harness efficient data transmission, ensuring compliance without missing a beat. And if you're wondering, what if I can't send it right away? Don't fret. The regulations do allow for batch submissions of the TDD. This flexibility can be a lifesaver, especially during those busy periods when you might be knee-deep in paperwork. Now, let's clear up a point about Corner 2 and Corner 3. Are they the same? Yes, but you still need to play by the rules and submit the TDD separately for both corners. Think of it like this. Even if your two friends have the same name, you still need to greet them individually, right? It's all about maintaining clarity and compliance within the system. Shifting gears a bit, let's touch on the experience in Malaysia, where a centralized system had to be deployed due to no provisions for credit notes or cancellations in the PINT format. For those tuning in, PINT AE will indeed cover those cases. So there's no need for concern about how to handle those pesky credit notes. Just remember, the traffic for invoices is going to flow through either corner 2 or corner 3. There's no direct line to corner 5 for taxpayers. It's a well-structured 5-corner model that simplifies the process, ensuring you stay on the right path. Now, what happens if your internet connection decides to play hide-and-seek while you're trying to issue invoices? Good news! The accredited service provider has your back. They'll store that information and ensure it gets sent once the connection is restored. Just make sure to resolve any issues with your provider directly. After all, you wouldn't call a pizza shop to complain about delivery from a rival, would you? While we're on the techie side of things, let's talk about the protocol for exchanging invoices between corner 2 and corner 3. We utilize AS4 in compliance with PEPL standards. It's worth noting, though, that we'll delve deeper into the details once the architecture document and the PASR are released. So, stay tuned and keep your ears open. As for the burning question about the service metadata publisher, will we have our own SMP or will we just stick with PEPL's? Details are yet to come in from the architecture document, so let's keep that curiosity simmering. And speaking of international dealings, if corner 1 or corner 4 are located outside of the UAE, you still have to report any invoices sent abroad to the Federal Tax Authority. But when it comes to receiving invoices from abroad, no obligation to report since the completeness and accuracy of necessary fields can't be guaranteed. Finally, let's say disaster strikes. What if corner 5 is down? Not to fear. The access points are your safety net, with the storage capability to hold on to your TDD until corner 5 is back online, ensuring nothing gets lost in the chaos. That wraps up this segment. Remember to stay tuned for our next part, where we'll continue to navigate the seas of compliance and technology in the e-invoicing world. Keep your questions coming, and let's keep the dialogue alive. Welcome back to our podcast series on e-invoicing, where we unravel the complexities surrounding the technical data document, or TDD, and the various corners of the e-invoicing network. As we dive deeper into part 3, let's tackle some of the questions simmering beneath the surface. First up, let's talk frequency. So what's the burn on how often the TDD needs to shimmy its way to corner 5? Well, it's all about near real-time reporting. This means leveraging the latest technology to send those docs zipping through the digital ether faster than you can say bureaucratic efficiency. However, don't worry if you're not always online. Batch submissions are still allowed. Just make sure you're not sending hundreds of TDDs all at once. We wouldn't want you to pull a dump truck maneuver on the system, right? And a quick heads up. For clarity's sake, if you find yourself dealing with both corner 2 and corner 3, and they happen to be identical, that's still a 2-for-1 deal in terms of TDD submissions. Yep, you've got to submit separately for both corners. It's like ordering 2 pizzas. You can't split the topping on one pizza and call it a day. Now, let's shift gears and look at the PINT format. In Malaysia, the lack of provisions for credit notes led to a centralized system. Are we heading down that path here? Fear not. The PINT AE is built to handle those pesky credit notes like a pro. What's more, taxpayers won't need to deal directly with corner 5. All invoices will flow through the trusty networks of corner 2 and corner 3, cementing the 5-corner model as the singular system in play. It's streamlined and efficient. Just how we like it, wouldn't you agree? But what about those times when tech fails us, like when a taxpayer's internet connection decides to take a coffee break? Well, the accredited service provider has got your back. Once they receive that invoice, they'll zip it over to corner 3 and report the TDD to corner 5. If either party is down, the access points act like temporary lifeboats. They can store information and send it off once the network is back in action. So fear not. There's a cushion of tolerance baked into the system. Moving along, let's chat about the protocol between corner 2 and corner 3. We're talking AS4, Yes, that's Advanced Simple Messaging Protocol. Probably not as catchy as a pop song, but it complies with PEPL's standards. Details will be unfolding soon in the architecture document, so keep your ears peeled for that. Now, a hot topic: Service Metadata Publisher. Are we rolling our own SMP in the UAE, or are we joining the PEPL party? More clarity on that front will emerge with the upcoming architecture release, so hold on to your hats. And when we talk about the Service Metadata Locator and Publisher, just know that the end-to-end process is being carefully outlined in the architecture document, along with those all-important service-level agreements. Now here's a curveball. What if Corner 1 or Corner 4 isn't in the UAE? If a supplier sends an invoice abroad, they'll have to report it to the Federal Tax Authority. But when it comes to receiving invoices from abroad, there's no obligation to report them. We can't always guarantee all mandatory fields will be in order, so that's more of a don't worry, be happy situation for now. Finally, in the unfortunate event that Corner 5 takes a little snooze, no problem. The access points will hold onto the TDD until Corner 5 wakes up and is ready to play ball again. More details, including all those technical goodies, will be unveiled in the architecture document. That's a wrap for Part 3. Keep that tech tuned up, and as we dive deeper into e-invoicing in future episodes, remember, embracing change means understanding the details. Join us next time as we dissect more juicy tidbits about the 5-corner model and what it means for you. Until next time, happy invoicing.